Hello and welcome to French Philosophers React, a philosophical take on the news headlines for today, September 4th, 2024. This is an AI-generated podcast and can make mistakes. Use it for generating possible ideas, but don't rely on it as an authoritative guide to the news or to the details of French philosophy. In the news today, story, Benjamin Netanyahu's main rival, Benny Gantz, has accused the Israeli Prime Minister of putting his personal interests before those of Israel, after Netanyahu insisted on retaining control of the Gaza-Egypt border corridor, jeopardizing efforts to broker a ceasefire and hostage release deal with Hamas. Gantz argued that soldiers would be sitting ducks in the corridor and would not stop tunnels, and rebutted Netanyahu's claim that international pressure would prevent Israel from returning to the area if they withdrew. The U.S. is reportedly preparing a take-it-or-leave-it deal after talks collapsed again last week, but may pull out of mediation if the effort fails. Tensions remain high with ongoing violence in Gaza and the occupied West Bank, where Israel has launched its biggest military operation in 20 years. So what might French philosophers have to say about this news item? The story of Benjamin Netanyahu's insistence on retaining control of the Gaza-Egypt border corridor, despite the objections of his rival Benny Gantz and the international community, reveals a deeper logic of politics that Jacques Rancière has termed the police order. In this context, Netanyahu's actions can be seen as an attempt to maintain the existing power dynamics, where Israel exercises control over the Palestinian population, rather than seeking a genuine resolution to the conflict. This thesis will guide our analysis of the story, as we explore how Rancière's concepts of the police order, disagreement, and the distribution of the sensible shed light on the underlying mechanisms driving Netanyahu's decisions. According to Rancière, the police order is a system that governs the distribution of roles, spaces, and modes of being within a society. It is a way of organizing the world that determines what is visible and audible, and what is not. Rancière, disagreement. In the context of Israel-Palestine, the police order is characterized by the dominance of Israeli power over Palestinian lives. Netanyahu's insistence on maintaining control over the Gaza-Egypt border corridor can be seen as an attempt to reinforce this existing order, ensuring that the Palestinian population remains subject to Israeli authority. However, Gantz's objections to Netanyahu's plan reveal a disagreement in Rancière's sense, a moment where the existing police order is disrupted by a competing claim or perspective, Rancière, disagreement. By arguing that soldiers would be sitting ducks in the corridor and that international pressure would not prevent Israel from returning to the area if they withdrew, Gantz challenges Netanyahu's narrative and opens up a space for alternative possibilities. This disagreement highlights the inherent instability of the police order, which is always subject to contestation and revision. Furthermore, Rancière's concept of the distribution of the sensible can help us understand how Netanyahu's actions shape the way we perceive and experience the conflict. Rancière, the politics of aesthetics. By maintaining control over the Gaza-Egypt border corridor, Israel exercises a form of sensory dominance, determining what is visible, audible, and thinkable in the context of the conflict. This dominance limits our understanding of the situation to a narrow range of possibilities, foreclosing alternative perspectives and solutions. The U.S.'s reported preparation of a take-it-or-leave-it deal can be seen as an attempt to impose a new police order on the conflict, one that would reinforce Israeli control while providing some limited concessions to Palestinian demands. However, this approach ignores the fundamental disagreements between the parties involved and seeks to impose a solution from above, rather than engaging with the complexities of the situation. The ongoing violence in Gaza and the occupied West Bank serves as a reminder of the consequences of maintaining the existing police order. As Rancière notes, the police order is always already a war, Rancière disagreement, where the dominant power exercises control over the dominated population through violence and coercion. The recent military operation in the West Bank, which Israel has launched its biggest in 20 years, is a stark example of this logic at work. In conclusion, Netanyahu's insistence on retaining control of the Gaza-Egypt border corridor reveals a deeper commitment to maintaining the existing police order in Israel-Palestine. Through Rancière's lens, we can see how this approach reinforces Israeli dominance over Palestinian lives, limits our understanding of the conflict, and perpetuates violence. By highlighting the disagreements and alternative perspectives that challenge this order, we may begin to imagine new possibilities for resolving the conflict, ones that prioritize justice, equality, and the recognition of Palestinian rights. Thank you for listening to today's episode of French Philosophers React. Be sure to come back tomorrow for more reflective takes on the day's news.